Well, the latest update that we are in fact getting on this story at this point in time is that the Lankan Cricket Board is going through the footage of the exchange between Tillakaratne Dilshan and Pakistan cricketer Ahmed Shehzad. Well, Nishtanga Ranatunga, the secretary of the Sri Lankan Cricket Board, has told headlines today that the Sri Lankan Cricket Board is going through the footage of the incident. The religious comments made by the Pakistani batsman to the Sri Lankan player after the one-day international last Saturday are in fact being investigated by the Pakistan Cricket Board, and the latest is that the Sri Lankan Cricket Board too is in fact going through the footage of this incident very closely. Of course, remains to be seen whether or not they lodge an official protest in the matter. My colleague Atit Sharma now joins me live for more on this story. Atit, the latest that you're bringing to us on this story is that the Sri Lankan Cricket Board is also examining that footage of that conversation between the two players. Are they likely to take any action?
Well, that is the big question, Rishika, and they're going through the footage of what Nishanta Ranatunga, brother of Arjuna Ranatunga, Nishanta is the secretary of the cricket board for a long time now, and he said that they'll be examining, they'll be going through the footage because a lot of things are coming from all the quarters, and they need to study this, and this is a sensitive matter, and they can't just take a decision. And officially, they can. The word is that probably because this was a personal conversation between two players, as Ahmed Shehzad has also told the PCB, they cannot lodge complaint. ICC cannot take an action because this was a conversation going on between two players, and it wasn't aggressive in nature. Right. So obviously this needs to be taken care of, and let's see what happens, because as day goes on, probably there will be some kind of an official statement made by the Sri Lankan Cricket Board, and we are all waiting for that. And of course, Dilshan hasn't reacted, and he's maintained decency and discipline. That is what the Sri Lankan Cricket Board is saying. So let's hope that there's an official word from them very soon. Right.
The latest that is in fact coming in on this story is that while the Pakistan Cricket Board has already been examining this incident, is investigating into the matter, the latest is that the Sri Lankan Board is also probing the footage. Atit Sharma breaking that piece of exclusive information, is going to continue to track developments on that. Thanks, Atit, for joining us with that live report. Also, Kirti Azad has in fact reacted to this controversy. Let's listen into what he had to say.
पाकिस्तान जो कर रहा है वो तो सामने देख ही रहा है. अब ऐसा प्रतीत होता है कि वह जिहादी खेलों के अंदर भी लेकर आ रहा है, जबकि खिलाड़ी का और खेल का ना कोई मजहब होता है ना उसकी कोई जात होती है. वो तो अपने देश या मुल्क का प्रतिनिधित्व करता है और नाम कमाता है. व्यक्तिगत हो या नहीं हो, ये सब चीज़ें नहीं आनी चाहिए. और किसी को व्यक्तिगत बात करनी होगी तो वह खुद अपने आप पूछेगा, बनिस्बत कि उसको कोई ऑफर करेगा. सबका अपना अपना धर्म मानने का अपना उसका अधिकार है, और वो अधिकार आप उससे उसका मौलिक अधिकार है जो आप उससे छीन नहीं सकते. तो जब कभी कोई खेलता है तो उसको खेल को ही अपना मजहब मान करके बात को रखना चाहिए, बनिस्बत कि किसी को धर्मांतरण की बात.
Well, my colleague Hamza Amir now joins me live from Pakistan for more on this. Hamza, we understand that the PCB is in fact probing this incident. Are they likely to take any action against the cricketer? What are you hearing?
Well, for now, what I can say is that the investigation is going on. They've taken a statement from Ahmed Shehzad on what his views were and the reasons behind why he actually went ahead and something like this to Dilshan. But he had maintained that it was a personal talk there between Dilshan and himself, and that is why they have no weightage whatsoever. But having said that, this has happened on the field of ground, not on a religious forum. So that is where the criticism is. I think PCB will come out with a statement and stand on that, and if there is no complaint launched by the Sri Lankan side and also from Dilshan, then obviously it will be more difficult for them to take a decision. But the code of conduct will certainly be reviewed, and players will be stopped from using such religious or any sort of personal statement on the ground, the field of ground. So over there you're not allowed to preach religion or do anything that is out of that is not related to the sports in hand.
Thanks, Hamza, for joining us with that update. My colleague Shivani Gupta is also joining me live in the studio at this point in time. Shivani, there has been no complaint from the Sri Lankan Cricket Board so far, but we understand that they are in fact probing the matter at this point in time. Irrespective, it is unwarranted and condemnable, an exchange of this kind on the field just after a game.
Oh, absolutely. There's absolutely no denying that Ahmed Shehzad crossed the line here, and I think this is wrong on just so many levels. First of all, of course, the most important and most pertinent point being that this is the field of play.
Absolutely.
Cricket has a very obvious image of keeping religious sentiments and even religious beliefs and voices off the cricket field. So that is one. Most sports follow that policy. Not only that, I mean, this obviously seems to be unsolicited advice. Ahmed Shehzad had no business, talking to a very senior player like Tillakaratne Dilshan after losing a match to him where Dilshan scored a not out 50, and talk about such matter, and then, his closing repartee saying, then be ready for fire. It's just absolutely unprofessional on the field of play. And I think the PCB, the onus is on them really, because something like this has never really happened or hasn't come to light. Here too, Shehzad, actually quite idiotic to say this when cameras are in full view in front of him, but nothing of this sort has ever come to light before. And I think the PCB should make a statement here and set a precedent here that such acts on the field of play, even if they're just a personal chat or a private chat, they shouldn't be allowed, and players should be more careful about what they say when it comes to such sensitive and personal matters on the field.
Well, absolutely, Shivani, you're absolutely right there. The PCB definitely needs to come out and make a strong statement against the action of their player, just so they can set the record straight and perhaps not set a wrong precedent at this point in time. We're going to continue to track developments on this story from Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and of course get in experts to comment on this controversy. It continues to remain a top focus story for us.